and it is challenging me to begin a journey which started a little over a year and a half ago into coming to terms with who it is that I am, how it is that I became this way, what are the patterns that I need to heal, and how can I reconcile my divine masculine and my divine feminine energies and be more in my feminine. So although in terms of relationship, that was initiated within the last year and a half or so, 4 years ago is when I began to journey at another level of my spiritual ascension process and begin to go inward and begin to do more of the nurturing of my feminine energy within. So that's a long story, and I could talk about that all day long because that is my experience. What I want to do is say to you that within you, these are the polarities, right? Night and day. Okay, winter, summer, spring, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall. Hello there, beautiful butterflies and perfect people. I want to engage the topic today of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I want to explain what that is, or share with you what that is, or hopefully confirm for you, if you already know about the topic, what it is. I want to talk about the importance of reconciling and balancing those energies and how the specific energies play out. This will be the first video in probably maybe a 3-part series that is designed to help you begin to recognize the necessity of stabilizing your sacral chakra energies and balancing those energies, and also how it plays out within you and within relationship. Okay, I'm Tanisha Ali of Butterfly Transformations, helping you get out of your cocoon and into your wings. I'm doing this today because I just got in from teaching a class to a wonderful group of women, and it's better for me to do it now while it's still fresh and I've been steeped in this energy for the last 4 hours rather than wait till later. So I said, okay, girl, go ahead and just sit down and do a video. Just break it up into parts. So what is the divine feminine and what is the divine masculine? These are energies. We are not talking about genders. The masculine gender and the feminine gender, we already know. One has a vagina, the other one has a penis. We already know. And you know what? I might have to take that out because I may get cited for that. Who knows? But anyway, these are body parts. So we understand the gender differences, but the energies are something that we are coming to have to bring into our focal point as we ascend to higher energies and we evolve in our consciousness. It's important to understand that all of us, men and all of us women, have a balancing polarity within our totality, within our entire field of energy. I, as a woman, by gender, have a feminine energy and a masculine energy. Your lover or partner, if you happen to be a woman, has a feminine energy and a masculine energy. Regardless of your orientation, you have a feminine energy and a masculine energy. Now, in most cases, although not all, in most cases, your gender determines your predominant energy. Okay, that's the energy you express in the world, both within and without. As above, so below. Now, in our society, though, culturally and across the landscape of the planet for the last almost 3,000 years, the feminine energy, and in this case, gender as well, has been repressed. In cases where we were not dealing with men who were in their divine masculine energy, they felt threatened by the magical and healing and full creative force and power that the feminine energy resonates with, that the feminine energy is. And that's really something you have to get your mind across. You can look at the ways in which institutions, religious doctrines, social programming, media, and so forth and so on have disenfranchised the feminine energy, have suppressed it, have sexually objectified it, have used all sorts of indoctrination and ideologies in order to suppress that which was natural to women. The same thing that before this patriarchal period, previous to some number of thousands of years ago, I'm going to say 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, I want to say 3, we had the opposite of that. We were in a time where the divine feminine was valued. She was appreciated. She was seen as magical. Men went to her and went within her to re-nourish themselves, to repower themselves. They sought to support and nurture her creative energies. And so we had an entirely different collective energy in our environment. Ever since we've been in this more patriarchal paradigm, we've seen so many things seek to or be a source of separation from our feminine. And while we were being separated from our feminine power, the feminine energy within men was also suppressed. And so up out of that, we have the genesis of a very distorted masculine energy, which has sought to deliberately disenfranchise the divine feminine, which then caused a suppression of the divine feminine energy, giving rise to a distorted feminine energy, where we oftentimes are the source of our sexual perversion, where we are not in our feminine power, where we really don't know what it is. And so now we have distorted feminines and distorted masculines going head to head. So the relationship dynamic has been affected in a major way. We cannot have 2 men in the same house. We cannot have 2 women trying to run the same house. There must exist polarity. There's polarity all throughout this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, and rich universe that the Creator has given us as a paradise in which to dwell. And those are the yin and yang energies. We can look around us and see every almost sacred book or many sacred ideologies or religious texts will refer to the contrast within the environment around us, and we are to find meaning in the contrast or in the opposites. God has created opposites so that we may find meaning. And instead of finding meaning, we have found fear, or we have embraced our fear through the ego. And we have instead of coming together, we now have this polarity that is like this, and we're in this space of duality, which is tearing up families, which is affecting everything, because we as human beings are connected to not only the cosmos, but Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is a feminine energy. And so here we are in a space where we are out of alignment. And this has affected us in many, 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 many ways. And I may be somewhat transparent as I move through some of the dialogue here. But this is a topic that I hold near and dear, because this has been my struggle. I've been in my masculine energy for the majority of my life because of some of the challenges that I endured as I was coming into my own, growing up in a family that was dysfunctional, as are many of our families. No one is coming through this 3D paradigm without coming up in some dysfunction. And if you don't claim that, then you're not being real with yourself. We all have come up in various levels of familial dysfunction, whether we inherited that from our parents and we are now perpetuating that in our own lives, or it's ancestral based. It's in our DNA from slavery. Some people may refer to that as transgenerational curses. Even transcendental psychology now is coming face to face with this whole concept of the ancestral patterns and some of the karmic debris that we are working out, so that we can clear our lineage and we can stop the cycle. And so I've been in my masculine energy in so many ways, and that started from childhood, and it has affected the quality of my relationships throughout my life. And I'm now with a man who is my lover and my husband, who is the closest to a divine masculine that I have ever been, although none of us are perfect. And it is challenging me to begin a journey which started a little over a year and a half ago into coming to terms with who it is that I am, how it is that I became this way, what are the patterns that I need to heal, and how can I reconcile my divine masculine and my divine feminine energies and be more in my feminine. So although in terms of relationship, that was initiated within the last year and a half or so, 4 years ago is when I began to journey at another level of my spiritual ascension process and began to go inward and began to do more of the nurturing of my feminine energy within. So that's a long story, and I could talk about that all day long because that is my experience. What I want to do is say to you that within you, these are the polarities, right? Night and day. Okay. Winter, summer, spring, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall. I'll give you my all. What song was that, y'all? I'm a little off key. You probably don't even recognize that song. I think it was, what was the singer? Babyface. Gosh, what happened to him? I don't listen to music that much, so I'm kind of out of it. I don't know, but winter, spring, summer, fall. I used to love that song. I was a senior in high school, I think. That was almost, I don't know, 35 years ago, something like that. But anyway, a little bit less than that, maybe 30, something like 30-something years ago. Anyway, and while I'm doing this video, I'm working with my feminine energy. So I'm making an effort to soften my energy. It's not just about the outward. It's a lot deeper than that. But you start somewhere, right? You have to become mindful. So I'm working more in that element. I have on this long, flowy skirt today. Okay. But anyway, it's important to understand that the balance between these polarities within our sacral chakra is profoundly impactful. It is as profoundly disabling when they are not in concert. If you think of two entities oscillating within the cosmos, right? Think of these as polarities. Polarities represent two extremes, right? When they're in extremes and we only deal with this one, or this one is out of balance with this one does not recognize that one, and so forth and so on, we have chaos, we have imbalance. When they do this sort of thing here, okay, and there's a push and pull, there is what is called a motion rather than tension, and that motion is what is the life force. Whether you look at the tree and you deal with the trunk, which stabilizes the beautiful branches, or you look at those flowers that you're growing outside in your garden and you see how that, the stem allows the blooms to come. There are just so many ways in the universal form in the cosmos that you can look at the feminine and the masculine energies, the sun and the moon, and that's still up for debate. Night and day, so many ways. So within you, it is important that you understand that it is your divine feminine that seeks and needs the nurturing, the protecting, and the support of her divine masculine within. Your divine feminine energy is nurturing, it is open, it is receptive, it listens, it is watery, it flows, okay? It creates, okay? It's a deep part of being. It's an immense reservoir of creativity and infinite possibility. Women got it going on. That feminine energy, y'all, is really something. It's really something. And so that energy, though, because of its nature, its softer, more gentler nature, has to have its own inner divine masculine energy in order to be whole within. If that inner divine masculine is defined by distorted images of men in your relationship and your experience and your impression of the masculine energy is distorted, which if you're in this country growing up or anywhere else on this planet where you see the chaos and you see the pillaging, the rape, the exploitation, the suppression of women and all of this other craziness, you are out of balance. And so you have, in some cases, totally silenced your feminine energy. In other cases, your divine masculine energy has had to come up, but it is now distorted because now you're out here in the rat race trying to keep up with men. You think that equality is empowerment and all of this old other crazy stuff. You know, so we've gone from one extreme to another kind of mini extreme within an extreme, and then we still have all of this stuff happening, which is not moving us forward. The divine masculine within you is what allows you to be discerning. It is what protects you. It is that part of you that says, that's not a good guy. You need to get away from him. It is that part that supports you so that when you bring forth that creativity, whether it is deciding that you're interested in cultivating a healing practice and it becomes something that is initially a concept, it allows you your masculine energy, which is external. Feminine energy is internal. Masculine energy is external. That is the energy that allows you to go out into the world and affect the collective and the community and the wider community at large. Let me say that. So you open a business. Maybe you start hosting meetings. Maybe you go on a talk show. Maybe you end up having a speaking engagement. Your masculine energy allows you to move and actively engage the world with your feminine energy. So the active masculine energy or the masculine energy is not an abusive, exploitative, environmentally unaware energy. It is a very nurturing and supporting energy. It sees the beauty within its divine feminine. It seeks to be chivalrous and protect you. It seeks to ensure your safety. It seeks to keep you grounded, because as women, we're still waters run deep. We're up in here. We are connected to spirit. We're deeply intuitive. And so that's the beauty of the relationship. So that I don't get too far, I want to go over some of the things that I put in my notes today for the women. And I want to actually review for you the qualities. And as I am reviewing the qualities for you of the divine feminine and of the divine masculine, I want you to think of these qualities as qualities that are within you. And then I want you to think of your divine feminine qualities as qualities that are within the feminine gender in most cases, and the divine masculine qualities as qualities that would be in your ideal lover. These are the things that he should be doing. These are the energies that he should be exuding. And this is not exhaustive by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a place to start. So the divine feminine energy, remember, is a very internal energy. This is the expression of your internal energy within. And again, the masculine energy is external out into the world, and they provide the perfect complement. We were created in heaven, these energies. And so when we look around at this planet, we wonder, where's the paradise? Where is heaven? What is going on? Matter of fact, yesterday, and I was telling ladies in my class, I saw a lady in the McDonald's parking lot trying to fight a man. She was cursing. Her mouth was filthy. He was on the other side of the parking lot trying to hold himself and trying to defend whatever they were doing or whatever he had done. But she was being held back by the manager. These were two employees who, by the way, the manager should have been let go because he should have sent one of them home. I watched this go on and play out for over 10 minutes. When I left the parking lot, it was still going on. But I watched that display of extreme distorted masculine energy from the female, and regardless of whatever was going on and what preempted that and what provoked that, it was unnecessary. It was so unnecessary. But we see this sort of thing around us all the time, and we see the reverse as well. So anyway, the divine feminine energy. Connection to the right side of the brain. You know the right side of the brain is concerned with creativity, your wateriness, your flowiness, all of the things that our school system suppresses, okay? Everything needs to be about the logical, the analytical. there's anything creative is not worthy. Or, we've been doing this as a society for a long time, because when you consider the very institutionalized and systematic way that women have been disempowered over the last number of years, since we have been in the energy of Pisces, we're now we're into the energy of Aquarius, and so we're moving up to the heart chakra. So you're seeing this awakening. It's happening across the planet, and it's not just me having this dialogue. It's people saying, okay, there's an imbalance here. There's an imbalance in the world. Look at Trump. He represents the total distortion of the masculine energy. And while everyone wants to criticize him, how many men do you see looking into his character saying, the reason why I can criticize him is because I got some of that within me. Yeah, I may not be doing that, but I'm doing this over here. I'm doing that over here. So this is a man who's on the world stage as a buffoon, but he represents the epitome of the extreme in which we all need to be trying to move away from, regardless of whether you like him or not. That is not the issue. The issue is, this is a time to look at the mirror and say, okay, what is it in him that I need to address? We know he has no respect for the environment. That's a distorted male character trait. But how many of us respect Mother Earth and she's suffering? How many of us respect all life on the planet? When is the last time you killed a bug or something else out of fear? So we go on and on and on. So we have soft, nurturing, caters to the needs of others, amplifies, resurrects, listens, holds the life force. Think about that. Holds the life force within her. Caring, strong, connected to emotions, sees the big picture. Okay, very global and community in their thinking. Ability to smell the roses in life, fertility, calmness, flexible, radiant. Now the radiant part, and I also have luminous. When you're in your divine feminine and you're fully balanced, you become naturally radiant and luminous. You don't have to work for anything, because you become a magnet for the attraction of all things. All right? When you are in your full divine feminine, you are able to draw the divine masculine to you without force. And this is not a sexual energy that we're talking about. Although the energies, our sexual potency, the energies of sexuality reside in the sacral chakra. That is a part of it, but that's not the part that I'm talking about at this particular time. Passive. Passive, not as in I lay down and let you walk all over me. There's a beauty in passivity. Remember, we also have passive resistance. We have so many other aspects of the passive, which have nothing to do with the passive that we felt we needed to fight our way out of as a result of, which actually ended up being what gave rise to the feminist movement within this country, and a lot of unrest that you see in other countries where women are beginning to take to the streets. That's a different type of passive. That passive came up, that passive, or that feeling that submission and everything was associated with weakness, that came about as a result of the patriarch defining the qualities of femininity as being weak. We didn't start that. We were in our power. We were stripped of our power. So be careful when you take issue with that. Accepting, trusting, connected to nature, inner warrior. Okay? Whereas our masculine energy is our external warrior, standing up for what's right. We have an inner warrior also that is the spirit of our inner tiger or our inner lion. That's a feminine energy, okay? Healing, cooperative, communal, circular, all right? Flowing, organic in approach, gentle, naturally confident. The naturally confident part is not I can, play tennis, or I can do this or that, and I'm confident because of these things, and I need to strut my stuff. It's not that artificial sense of confidence that we associate with feminine confidence. That is so superficial. It is so full of garbage. As a matter of fact, I had that when I was at my height of entrepreneurship, when I was running my school. Outwardly, I appeared very confident. I appeared that I had strong self-esteem and self-concept, and I was a shell at that time in my life. So that's very artificial. That innate confidence, or the natural confidence I'm talking about, is the confidence that is aligned with your luminosity and your radiance when you're in your feminine power. It naturally is, because you naturally are. You are in your being. Magnetic, dynamic, multidimensional, diffusive, aware, silent, deep, and still. And so that you understand what I'm saying, I'm going to tell you a little story about the wind and the sun. They were in an argument over who had more power, who was more fierce, who had more, whatever, oomph. And they decided to wager, and I'm going to shorten this story as much as I can. They wagered a bet, and they said, well, take a look at that guy over there walking down the street. Whichever one of us can get that coat off him is going to be the one who's going to win the wager. So the wind started blowing. He's blowing, and the man is like, what the heck is going on? The coat, the jacket is all over the place. The wind is still blowing with all the force that he has. He just knows he's going to get that coat off of him, and he's going to win that bet. And the coat almost slips off, and the man grabs it back, buttons it up. He continues walking. So that's the end of that. So the sun says, okay, I'm going to get that coat off him. So the sun decides to come over and shine on the man. And little by little, he comes further down until the man is sweating so much that he takes his jacket off, slings it over his shoulders, and continues on his sojourn. Needless to say, who won that wager? The sun did. So the moral to the story is sort of what the wind tried to do by force, the sun was able to accomplish by being. So the sun worked with his natural energy, or her natural energy of being, which is the feminine, the divine feminine, in order to accomplish everything that the wind used external masculine force in order to accomplish. That is the best way that I can summarize what your feminine energy is. It's deep, it's abiding, it's trustful, it's intuitive, it's connected to source. You are so much power that when you stand in it, you become the most beautiful thing on the planet, and it has nothing to do with what your facial figures or your facial features look like. Now let's talk about the divine masculine. External energy. This is the divine masculine. Now remember, this is the other energy within you. This is the expression of the other polarity within you, but it's also the expression of the ideal masculine energy of, say, your lover or the person who you might dream into your life. We don't see this in our environment, but it does exist within many men out there. This is the version that you want to have a relationship with internally to help heal your inner divine, but as well externally in your life in terms of relationship to help heal and balance the energies and become whole. All right? That's my dog. She hears my hubby coming in, and so she is going to act up, but I'm going to continue. One monkey don't stop no show, right? So that energy, connection to the left side of the brain. The left side of the brain is concerned with logic, analytics, order, structure, logical, detail-oriented, sticks to the rules, one-dimensional, very task-oriented. You can think about the way little kids play growing up. You can think about the way your husband functions. Okay, we're multidimensional. We're dynamic. You give us a task, we connect the dots. Actually, we literally have more interneural connections, more dendrites than men do. Men need to focus on one thing from start to finish, and so we have to keep those things in mind. Most men, except those men who are standing also and allowing their divine feminine energy within to influence their internal and external worlds. And so in that case, you have a balance in both. And just imagine, what a paradise, right? Responsible, ambitious, energetic, tender, explorative, courageous, giving, executing action, chivalrous. Chivalry, is it dead? Like, What happened to the days where chivalry was like really the thing, right? So no, it's not dead, but it's been subverted, it's been distorted because we are not in our energy. All right, so we have protective, we have strong. Oh, I'm looking at food and I'm fasting today. I'm doing a water fast, and oh my goodness, I want that food, but I'm going to try, baby. You said you would support me and make. Oh, you have my favorite vinegar and salt potato chips. Yes, it is. Oh, I'm going to have to break my fast. My mouth is watering. You know I like vinegar and salt potato chips.
No. I wasn't even expecting to find you here.
He said he didn't expect to find me here. Because why? Because you think I'm a workaholic? My masculine energy, my distorted masculine energy. Why didn't you expect to find me here, baby?
Huh?
Why didn't you expect to find me here?
I thought you were going to be at the office for a little while.
Well, I had the session after the class, which was 2 hours, and I decided to come on home and film this video.
Okay, baby.
Plus, you told me you were going to be home around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
I was going to leave a little bit early, and I'm trying to stick to my word.
I see you did, baby, and I'm glad you're home because I'm going to shorten this video and come give you a fat kiss in just a little bit. So, protective, strong, good, provider, supportive, nurturing, encouraging, environmentally aware. A man who's in his divine masculine power is environmentally aware. He respects the environment. He understands the cycle of life. He's not pillaging through Mother Earth. He's not destroying her I guess you want to say the degree to which Mother Earth can absorb and transmute the energies of the plastic and all of the waste and all of this other stuff. That's not the divine masculine. That's the distorted masculine. Helpful, decisive. If he's helpful, he's helping his divine feminine, right? He's decisive. He's charismatic. He's attentive. He's attentive to his divine feminine. He invents. He cooperates. Okay, he helps out within the home. He recognizes his divine responsibility. He cooperates out in the society as he goes out there, executing action and imposing his will, so to speak, on the environment to transmute positive change. He's very cooperative. He doesn't seek to go out and destroy things, although he does have that external warrior, but he goes to war for good. That's the difference. Linear in his thinking. Today during our training session, we had the chairs set up in a very masculine way. They were in around tables and they were in lines. Next time we're going to experiment with a more flowing circular energy, which is more feminine in nature. So those are the ways that these energies play out. Builds and creates for the common good. Inner strength as well as outer strength. It takes a lot of inner strength to absorb that divine feminine. All right? We have confidence, worthiness. He's not insecure. He's not jealous. He's not possessive. He has an inner sense of his worthiness. He understands what that looks like, how that plays out in his world. He's a very stabilizing energy, which means he can protect his divine feminine. And within you, that's what we're talking about. That divine masculine energy that has to stabilize and protect you in order for you to be able to give true birth and reality to your inner divine. Seeks comfort and wholeness in his divine feminine. The sacred masculine seeks comfort and wholeness in his divine feminine. He understands her nature is vastness. It is immense. He recognizes he comes from her nature. We don't come from them, everyone. They come from us. And so he recognizes that. He knows where to go in and refuel. He knows how to give and to support and to give back. He doesn't feel like he has to subjugate. He has to protect. He has to dominate. He doesn't need to try and find proof that she is intellectually and emotionally inferior. He understands who he's dealing with. That's the divine feminine. This is where we need to go. Last but not least, he's complementary. He complements her nature. So what I have presented to you today are the characteristics of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I don't want to have to go into this in video 2, so it's really important in video 2 that you've watched video 1 first, so that if you happen to have clicked on video 2 or video 1 or out of order, you want to make sure, because I won't go back probably and go into detail. I really want to be able to focus on how the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies are distorted, and they become shadow aspects of themselves, and in society they play out in very unhealthy ways. But to give you the background on those two energies serves to help you to be more aware of what your feminine energy actually is, and to make you aware of what your masculine energy actually is that is within you. You have these energies within you. In order for you to begin to heal your relationships and to teach your sons and to also mentor to your husbands, you have to heal that great divide within, or at least you have to be working at them simultaneously, and you have to heighten your level of consciousness in this area so that you can do the work that's required to uplift the planet and bring more light to the planet. We are living in the time of the divine feminine, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. We need to understand what that means, and we need to recognize to whom much is given, much is required, and we need to take our rightful place in the cycle of life. Remember that line from Lion King? Simba. I think it was that. I can't remember who said what. It could have been the monkey guy, but it was like, you must take your rightful place in the cycle of life. He had to be at the helm. He had to face his fears. He had to do that shadow work. He had to go back and face himself and face his community in order that he should step up and restore the beauty to... Baby, what was the name of the place in The Lion King? It's my favorite movie. I can't believe I can't think of it. The Pride Lands. The Pride Lands. The Pride Lands. So, take this information, and this is what I would like for you to challenge yourself to do. Identify which of those energies is more predominant in your relationship. In terms of the divine aspects, not the distorted aspects. Determine which of those energies you identify with most. And then as you feel into that energy, I want you to sort of predict what the opposite of that energy would look like, and to identify within yourself some of those energies that play out in your life in a very distorted way. This is a preview to the video where I'll talk a little bit more about the distorted masculine and the distorted feminine. Look into those energies of the action and the moving out into the world and the motion, which is associated with the divine masculine, and ask yourself, am I, on the days that I'm feeling too depleted, am I actually discharging too much of my masculine energy by focusing on work? Is there balance in my life? Remember, the male energy is all about moving. The feminine energy is all about being, and it's all about stillness and going within. That's not the extent of everything, but that's a major aspect of it. So if we're not making time to be still in our life and to go within and to intuit and to connect with nature, then we are definitely out of balance. So look at those aspects and how they play out, and ask yourself. Also, take a moment to assess your emotion. Check in with yourself to see how you feel. Ask yourself, are you doing more things that require you to bring to bear your masculinity or your femininity? And in what ways can you begin to back away from some of that or balance some of that so that you may bring up and complement your so that you may bring to the surface and allow to a rebirth or reconnection with more of your divine feminine energy. You're with Denisha Ali. Join the evolution. I hope to see you in part 2. This stuff is critical, guys, because we're going deep. We're talking about relationships and how this stuff plays out. And I have a lifetime of chaotic relationship stuff as a result of not being in my divine feminine and being in relationships with folks who were not in their divine masculine, and also being a I don't like to say victim, but being subject to the patriarchal paradigm, which we all have been victims of to some degree in a very real way, and it still exists all around us, whether the feminine is seen as weak, or whether you have to go into the workplace and behave like a man in order to feel like you get your recognition and you get your respect. Whatever it may be, we see these dynamics at play all around us. So I am going to put a link to a questionnaire that I would like you to fill out. If you can relate to this information and you're interested in the unveiling of my online class, which will be slated for January of 2020, and it will be a 6-module course on embracing your divine feminine, and it will help you to get back in touch with the deepest part of yourself that is a reflection of the oneness and the beauty within this lovely universal paradise in which we reside, the cosmos. You can find that information in the description. Don't forget to watch video number 2. I'm going to make sure I upload these at the same time and release them on the same day so that you will have access to both of them. I have loved spending this time with you, and I need to take a break between part 2 because that would be balance, right? And I have been sort of at it today, so I will see you back in just a little bit. How about that?